today we are going to tackle about electrical. So here's the introduction. So electrical work means any work performed or carried out on an electrical installation and includes the installing, constructing, erecting or repairing, the altering of the structure, the replacing of any of its parts, the adding of any part to it, or the carrying out of any work for the purposes of its maintenance. And then next, we have the technical terms. So first, we have the volts, or shall we say voltage. So volts are used with numbers to describe the force of the current. Different countries, for example, have different voltage. And this is why you need to use items to convert this force when you are charging your mobile phone when traveling for. And then next, we have the amp. So amp is short for amperage. This is a measurement for the numbers of electrons flowing through the circuit versus the force of which they are flowing. And then next, we have the ohms. This is a measurement for the amount of resistance in a circuit. Resistance in the circuit is also used to create heat and light, and so it is not always a bad thing. And then next, we have the circuit. Of course, circuit is one loop of electrical flow. For example, your lighting is one for electrical circuit, and you have your air conditioning is on another. So electricity only powers when it is flowing and requires a completed circuit. So when you don't have a circuit, of course, dili mo siga inyuhang mga appliances. So next, we have the circuit breaker, or we called it plangka. So this is the modern equivalent of a fuse. So this device will automatically cut the flow of electricity through a circuit when there is an excess amount of electricity flowing through the circuit. So when there's a power outage, so of course you need to off your circuit breaker. The basic operations and process in electrical. So facilities management, or FM, will maintain sustainable practices for electrical operations. These procedures outline basic courses of action to be taken when the following situations occur. So first, we have the power outage. So the heat plant operator will notify the electrical superintendent or lead electrician if superintendent is unavailable of the extent of the outage. And then the second one is after hours outages may require the use of the utilities outage call list available on the facilities management share drive or in a regularly updated form posted in the heat plant and electrical offices. And then we have next is I'm so sorry. So if the outage is localized to a specific building, so first responder will assess cause of the outage. So if ever na ay kanang blackout na ay no kanang naputlang kuryente, so first responder will also cause muadto na dayon ang, for example, electrician. So the next one is we have the first responder will notify the Associate Vice President for Facilities and Campus Planning and the Director of Plant Operations. Next, we have we have in-house repairs will be performed immediately. And then 6 is if the situation is not within the abilities of FM electricians, a state contractor will be notified and will perform the work. A list will be supplied and updated regularly. So if dili na jud makaya sa mga FM electricians, so naay mo adto nga contractor para mo perform sa trabahoon sa usa ka community nga nawad-an og kuryente. Next, we have all contractor work must be procured through the purchasing department according to university policy. And then 8, we have the first responder. FM electricians and heat plant operator will monitor the situation until stable. So a work order will be submitted for the outage of that for the outage event. So next we have the we have the power shut off. For emergencies, situations may require mandatory shut off of power for university areas to ensure the safety of persons on campus. So for example, there is bagyo, so you need kuan jud kayo nga importante gud nga pagngon ang electricity or mag-burn out, di ba kabantay mo if ever nga naibagyo kay pagngon jud ang kuryente. So mag-burn out jud siya. And then next we have so the first thing you to do is if a campus emergency occurs like flood, wind, etc., the electrical superintendent will authorize the power to a building or area to be shut off. So as labi sa akong gisulti ganiha, so if ever na ay kusog na bagyo, flood, so importante kaayo nga i-shut off ang kuryente. So second is the first responder will examine the situation once power has been shut off. And the third one is once the situation is assessed and deemed safe to reinstate power to the university area, power will be restored as soon as possible. So if ever nga safe na, di ba humana ng bagyo, safety na, so as soon as possible ang power kay ma-restore na jud siya. And then the fourth one is this procedure does not replace the emergency procedure outlined in FM policy 601. Then we have the C, transformer maintenance. So first is that transformers are expected to be used to their fullest capacity and lifetime. They will be replaced or repaired as necessary upon evaluation by the electrical superintendent or designee. So the second is the electrical superintendent will determine if a replacement, repair, or upgrade performed by FM electricians is feasible. Third is if a transformer must be replaced, the FM electrical superintendent will notify the director of plant operations and proceed through the appropriate purchasing channels using a contractor. Then the fourth is that an appropriate work request will be created for assessments and in-house work. So now, let's move on to economic contribution of electricity or electrical. So, what is important of electricity economic to our life? So, electricity is an essential part of modern life and it helps us in many different ways. So, as a modern people, we need electricity in our life. Okay? Para na to kay murag dili na bitaw kay ta mabuhi if ever nga mawala ang kuryente. Murag na ay kulang sa tong kinabuhi if kuan walay kuryente, labi nag walay wifi, di ba? So relate jud mo na. So the first thing that is lighting. So of course very important ang lighting. So kung walay electricity, of course walay suga, di ba? So next we have the heating, refrigeration, and also for medical purposes. So, gamit kaayo electricity, especially sa mga hospital. And also for operating appliances, di ba? So, you cannot operate an appliances without electricity. So, now, let's move on to, so how does electricity contribute to the economy? So, how it does contribute. So, energy also leads to the creation of new markets, businesses, and job openings, which provide more opportunities for individuals to earn an income and lift themselves, their families, and their communities out of poverty. So, because of this, na atay mga planta of na mga kuryente. So, of course, nag-need sila og mga trabahante, and then ang mga tao na ay opportunity nga makakita og job to help their families and communities out of poverty. So, how did electric power affect economic development? So, lower prices and fewer power outages enable companies to increase electricity use and consequentially produce more. So, that's all for my topic for today, and thank you for listening. Goodbye.